terrifying, but
Good evening, everybody. This is the special board meeting of December 7th, 2015. Hello to local audiences and remote audiences out there. I'm wishing a happy holiday season to everybody. This will be our last meeting of the year. So everybody have good holidays, and we'll check back in again in January. Can we have the roll call, please, Susan?
Vice Chair Reddick.
Here.
Director Kowalczyk.
here.
Chair Lohman.
Here.
Director Warren.
Present.
Director Boyd.
Here.
Director Harvey.
Here.
We can have the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to move to public comment, and I have the first public comment. We would like to welcome tonight Beverly Marshall has arrived and is our new general manager.
Thank you.
And it's been a long time getting her here, but everybody is very happy to see her here. And we hope for a long relationship here with Sam. So,
Me
welcome.
too. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a special order of the day. Clemens?
Yes, tonight we're asking the board to, this is actually Jim Copeland's last SAM meeting. We already celebrated it the last time, his last regular scheduled meeting. Tonight is his actual last meeting serving for the Sewer Authority Midcoastside as legal counsel. And we're asking the board tonight to adopt a resolution commending James Copeland for his services as general counsel of the Sewer Authority Midcoastside. We'd like to ask you to make any suggestions or revisions. We then will prepare the resolution, frame it accordingly, and we already have a little event planned where hopefully all of you can attend, and we can hand the resolution to Jim. So let me read this out aloud. Resolved by the Board of Directors of the Sewer Authority Midcoastside, San Mateo County, California, that whereas Jim has served as SAM's general counsel from SAM's inception, a period of 40 years. Whereas Jim was instrumental in the drafting of the joint exercise of powers agreement pursuant to which SAM was created by its 3 member agencies, now known as the City of Half Moon Bay, the Granada Community Services District, and the Montero Water and Sanitary District. And whereas Jim has subsequently advised the SAM board and staff on numerous legal issues, drafted or reviewed documents, advised the board on laws applicable to its operation and purpose, and coordinated with other attorneys and consultants retained by SAM on legally related matters, and whereas Jim led a political board through conflicts and steered a path of compromise on divisive issues, and whereas Jim has brought his long history with the JPA to bear to give perspective in SAM decisions. Now therefore, it is ordered as follows. This board, on behalf of the residents of its member agencies, does hereby commend Jim Copeland for his service as General Counsel of the Sewer Authority Midcoastside, and by this resolution does hereby express its appreciation for his service to SAM, this board, and the community for which it serves. The board would like to wish Jim well in his future personal and professional pursuits and let him know that he will be missed. A copy of this resolution shall be spread upon the minutes of this authority, and the secretary of this authority is directed to transmit a duplicate copy hereof to Jim Copeland. So once again, if there are any additions, stories that can be shared and find its way into this resolution, we're happy to make additions. Otherwise, we're going to ask you to adopt this resolution.
So move.
You can't do that yet because I'm not going to do that.
So, Jim, did Sam really start in '75? Because I
thought it was 76. And I told,
76.
yeah, so I told Cummins in email 39
Well,
years.
but it's fuzzy, Leonard, because if you go back before Sam, there was a two-party between CSSA,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was talking
Coastside
about
Sewer
CSSA.
Services Agency, and the city of Half Moon Bay.
No, CSSA was run out in Montero.
But you entered into a joint, which I prepared, that agreement, whereby you entered into an agreement with the city of Half Moon Bay.
You mean CSSA? you did.
CSSA entered into an agreement with the city to get started. And so that's really, so when I think of when Sam got started, it's when the three of you people started talking to one another. And it actually goes back a little bit before the legal date of the Sam. And so that, I just threw 40 years and figured it's
I
close.
see.
Rounded it up.
Which is pretty good for someone who's only 39.
So can you confirm that CSSA was formed because Half Moon Bay was bullying us?
No comment.
That's
I gotta stay
the
neutral.
That was the political.
that's the
comment.
fifth paragraph here, the fourth whereas.
Yeah, and I'd just like to thank Jim, because this was not just a normal, legal type of position Jim has had to work with. It's been, obviously, controversies have arisen over the years, and it's been a long thing. I think Jim has been one of the agents which has helped bring us all together over the most recent years and help us move forward as a group.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you. And I'd like to use my power as chair, since Debbie didn't jump in tonight. So I would like to make the motion that we accept the resolution next in order commending James Copeland for all his work.
I'll second.
Okay.
You got a second, you got a second on the motion.
I got a second in the motion without, and any additional comments from folks before we actually vote on this?
Could I just make a comment before you?
Certainly.
Two things. One is you used the word longevity in welcoming Beverly. And she should use me as an example of how long it is possible to hang in over here. So, and then secondly, I think I mentioned the last meeting how short of a time this seems to be, and it's frightening to think that, that 40 years, and it seems like yesterday, it really does. And I ran into the former city attorney, Jim Fox, at a meeting last week. He called me today. He and I are going to have lunch next week. And he is he was the city attorney at Half Moon Bay. You know Jim?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, I know Jim.
I should get him to come. Anyhow, ran into Jim. I said, "We got to have lunch." So he and I are going to have lunch next week. But Jim Fox was the city attorney at Half Moon Bay, and I was the attorney in the north. And the two of us then were the ones who essentially drafted that agreement, along with Fred Mortensen, who was the city manager at that time. And I don't know whether Fred's coming. Is he coming?
I'm not sure who is on the list.
Love to see him. Okay. Anyhow, so there's longevity, and there's some of these people that were still around. So.
And Fred was the city manager and the SAM manager,
Right.
which Half Moon Bay had no problem with, but they had a problem with SAM's council being one of the other member agencies' council.
But that was the, I think maybe I said this at the last, that was sort of the political trade, was, okay, you guys want to have a manager from the city at SAM, okay, get that, because Fred was essentially the only manager around. And so, but in return for that, the North wanted some representation, and so I was the attorney up there at Montero. And so, okay, let's put Copeland in there from the north. And we had Hank Vulcan, none of you guys probably, but Hank Vulcan was the treasurer
I've heard
at
the name.
Montero. And so the trade, the baseball card trade, was, we got Mortensen from down here, you got Copeland and Hank Vulcan from the north, and that was 40 years ago.
And the original headquarters of SAM was, what, 501 Main Street?
Yes. And that was back in the days of smoking, and we used to sit up there in that upstairs. You still have that little room upstairs in the city hall?
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, 501 Main Street is Half Moon Bay City Hall.
And we'd sit up there, and the guys like Hank Vulcan, Bill Hazlett, they smoked like, and geez. You'd come out, you'd have to get your clothes cleaned the next day. They just wrench for that.
Jim Fox
Hey,
was
Rick,
the,
I'd like to.
was the, I think, nephew of Dolores Mullen, who was the
Yes,
correct.
godmother.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Jim?
All right, I'd just like to say, Jim, that, you know, you've been the kind of the glue and the grease that has kept us together. You know, soft-spoken, nice guy, you've got a good first name. And, you've
I'll make a
you've-
note of that.
Yeah, and and, you know, you've got us through those tough spots. Again, being soft-spoken and inclusive, and you're the historian for the district, for the district, and we're gonna miss you and your contribution.
I would just ask that you treat us well in your memoirs.
You sound like my university. Can't get away from it. Another solicitation for fundraising.
Is there any other thoughts,
I'd just
Scott?
like to echo Jim's comments. I mean, you've been very quietly helping out through some pretty tough times. I mean, I've only been here 15 years, so, you know, I only know the recent stuff, but you've helped, especially the managers, navigate some pretty tough stuff, trying to keep a really disparate board on track doing things. And the fact that here we are, roughly 40 years in, and the agency in all this time has actually gotten the job done, and continued over the years to get better and better at what it does. That's a testament to the work that you put in. And, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and I hope that your next steps are pleasant and light, and nothing at all like what it's been like to sit quietly at a board meeting and listen to all this go on.
Is it anything like herding cats?
Say again?
Is it anything like herding
Herding
cats?
cats. I, just try to stay down the middle, and, politics is yours and stuff. But when you think about it, you have your, it's kind of like a marriage, right? You have your good and bad. But the bottom line is, when you look back, like you just said, Scott, this place for 40 years, by a contract, this place exists. It has existed for 40 years. You've operated a wastewater system in one of the most environmentally sensitive parts of the country, and you've done it with, in a good job, done a good job. So we can all get mad at one another, or you guys can shoot darts at one, but basically, when you think about it, you can look at the bigger picture and look at the positive, and it's not been a bad job for you. When you look back, it's done a good job.
So I have to assume, Jim, that it was 35 bad years and 5 good ones, because in the last 5 years, it doesn't seem terribly controversial or difficult. So your first 35-year investment was well taken, because the last 5 have just been business, and we've been working well. And I appreciate your services, and just want to say thank you.
Rick, only because you've been on the board.
No.
It's gone so smoothly.
That's the fight.
So, Rick, keep that in mind when you're making SAM appointments for next
So
year.
move on here.
When you look back, how long have you been here, Leonard?
18 years.
All right, 18. When you guys look back just at your era, you think back of the really problems that were at one time thought to be insoluble.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah. I
And
mean, there was.
take a bigger perspective of it,
Yeah.
and this place has run pretty good.
No, it has, and the where we've had the most disagreement have been on the things that have been kind of transitory. I mean, I joined Montero right around the time that we were really getting into the thick of the plant expansion, and that was, like, I mean, I know there's lots of ways to pick at what happened there, but the fact of the matter is, an expansion got done, it got funded, despite all of the complications, and what we have has actually been very useful. Yeah, but there was a time where we had an order to go do something, and nobody knew how it was going to get paid for, or how it was going to get done, or how we were going to get through it without building a whole new plant. But got it funded, got it built on site while the plant continued to work, and that was insurmountable. And I came in right as we were wrapping that up, and we've had other things since. But I mean, it's just thing after thing where it seemed insurmountable, but you're absolutely right. It's, the amazing part, the most amazing accomplishment for the agency, I think, is keeping it together on the contract and then sticking to the mission of what this is really all about.
So, Mr. Chairman, it's been a piece of cake, no big deal.
Thanks for being a gentleman.
Thank you.
You've always been a gentleman. Appreciate that.
I'd like to call the vote. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sounds unanimous. So, thank you much, Jim. Good work. We will move on to closed session.
Can I ask a question, Rick?
Yes.
Would it be appropriate to have Jim stay with us for the interviews, or
Certainly.
would that be okay with it? Would that be a good idea?
That
the
is the
intent?
plan.
Oh, that's the plan, okay, good.
Yes.
And we don't have to ask anybody to leave.
Oh, yes, we did.
Actually,
Oh,
Yeah, that would be awkward.
okay.
actually, I think, Rick, we're done with open session, so we might actually relieve the camera. Is that correct? Or do we need to ask for comments right now so that we can achieve that?
Let's do that. We have no additional reports on the agenda from consent all the way through public comment. Is there any additional public comment? Then we will close all the open sessions and we can close the cameras. And that'll save everybody a lot of time.